Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are about to execute our node to bring Valentina back home. We of course just left the moon. We did not leave Minmus yet. We will be heading off to Minmus this episode, unless we get a contract that we absolutely decide we have to do right now, but I'm not sure I see that happening. So we're just gonna go ahead and warp forward about 5 hours, a little under 5 hours. There we go. Nice and swift. And we'll be doing our warp, or rather our burn, presently. We are doing that, I'm still not 100% certain if it's radial or anti-radial and retrograde. I should probably look that up. I just go by it looks like a crosshair. Of course, the other one kind of does too. So there is that. Anyway, this is going to be a rather lengthy burn, about 1 minute. I mean, we have plenty of delta V for it. Like, we can do a re-entry burn too. It's no problem. This thing is definitely overkill, and it would almost be even more overkill for Minmus. But that's fine. The point of this thing is just to be able to get around the Kerbal system and be able to go basically anywhere without a redesign. That's the entire point. So, I mean, this thing's got 2 T-800s worth of fuel strapped to it. It's kind of insane. Way too much delta V. Like, this thing on its own has enough delta V to get basically anywhere. I mean, well, not anywhere. It can't get to Elu. That would be absurd. But it can get to some places, to be sure. So, going forward, as we leave the Kerbal system, we start getting into systems that I'm less familiar with, and I will probably be relying on MechJeb for maneuvers a little more heavily. Well, I'll be relying on MechJeb for initial maneuvers, but I'll be tweaking every maneuver that we do manually, most likely. Just because that's the kind of thing I like to do. And we will still rely on MechJeb for actually executing every maneuver. So that's, you know, kind of how we're going forward. I'm just a lot less familiar with, like, how long does it take Gilly to go from here in the orbit to here in the orbit? How long does it take to get from Eve to Gilly? I'm not super familiar with these things. So that's why I will not be flying by the seat of my pants quite as much. Also, when in silhouette like this, from behind, that's a pretty cool design. I'm okay with this. Although it kind of looks like a swastika, doesn't it? I'm less okay with it. Yeah, it's definitely a swastika. Nope, I'm out. Well, we gotta work on that. Okay, so we are currently on a re-entry course. We're going to go to surface velocity minus. Oh yeah, that is correct. Okay. So let's go ahead and warp to the atmosphere. And then I just want to check where exactly we are in relation to the KSC. KSC is here. Okay. So we're going to keep going for a little bit here until we start getting pretty hefty atmospheric effects, and then we're going to burn off the rest of our fuel. We can get rid of our maneuver planner. Won't need that for this moment. We can also, I mean, get rid of these. We don't need that for this moment either, as long as we're working on uncluttering. So I just kind of want to get as far as possible over here to get as close to the KSC as we can before we start hitting major atmospheric effects and have to ditch our tanks or burn off our fuel. Well, both. We should be starting to hit some major atmospheric effects here pretty soon, though. And it also bears noting that this thing is more efficient in vacuum than it is at higher atmospheric pressure, this Terrier engine. So burning earlier rather than later is better, but I mean, we don't need the Delta V to get home anyway. This is just all extra. So, okay, we're starting to get those atmospheric effects. Let's go ahead and burn this off. I mean, we've got a minute and 20 seconds on this burn. This will probably take us pretty close to the surface, actually. Now, this thing definitely shouldn't have the thrust... Actually, it does have the thrust-to-weight ratio to do a powered landing. That would be kind of funny. But I don't want to do that. That's kind of a terrible idea. And as we get closer to the surface, the thrust-to-weight ratio will go down substantially as well. So, we'll just keep doing this. We are burning off our speed so quickly that we are going to be just fine. Like, I mean, we're not even in the thick part of the atmosphere yet, and we're already down to 1.5 kilometers per second. So I think we're doing pretty good. Of course, we are currently... actually, we're quite close to the KSC. That's pretty good. I'm a fan of that. So we've got about 10 seconds left on this burn. And then we're going to go ahead and ditch this stage. Okay, we are flamed out. And we ditch that stage. We can turn Smart ASS off at this point. It's fine. We don't really need anything else. There we go. And we're already moving 800 meters per second, and we're not even in the second thickest part of the atmosphere yet. We're still up above 20 kilometers. It's kind of insane. Can't really see, though, so we're going to go ahead and deploy our drogue chutes. Good old night landings. Kind of difficult to see everything here. Looks like we might actually be landing on land. I think we're going to land on water. But it'll be pretty close to the coast. Oh, yeah, it'll be right close. But we're going to land in water. Especially with us deploying this chute. Okay, let's go ahead and warp up. There we go. We are decelerating rapidly. Yeah, quite close to the coast. It looks like our lander debris actually landed on the land. But we're going to land in the water. Fantastic. There go our drogue chutes deploying. Our main chute has not yet deployed. Oh, hey. There go our fuel tanks. They're about to land in the water. There they go. They all landed in the water and were destroyed. And we're going to keep on being warped up here for the time being until we get to around 30 meters or so. I like to warp down as we do impact just because physics warp can do weird things. But we'll just continue being at 4x for now, and we'll warp down right about now. There we go, and there's splashdown. So, looks like we could actually grab a surface sample. Might as well. There we go. And let's recover our vessel. So let's see how much science we get here. It should be a pretty hefty amount, all things considered. 407. Ooh, I like it. Okay, and we also completed this contract, getting us an additional 5 science. Also good. Okay, so with 415 science, we could potentially grab nuclear propulsion. Or large volume containment. I don't think we need to do that. Or heavy landing. I don't think we need to do that either. Rover autopilot, I don't feel like is super necessary either. I've never actually used the rover autopilot for MechJeb. I'm not sure what that does. Why would you need a rover to be autopiloted? I'm a little confused by that, but whatever. Let's see. Lunar excursion module would be interesting. The Mark II lander can would also be very, very interesting. And we'll need the cupola module for a space station. Let's go ahead and grab command modules. That precludes us from anything up here. So we could choose precision propulsion, specialized construction, which would allow us to have another fairing, which wouldn't be the worst. Also docking ports. We'll need docking ports for our space station as well, so let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, that's all we can grab there. So let's head into mission control. This is science. Let's head to mission control. Plant flag on the moon. We just did this twice. So we're not going to do that. Satellite in a polar orbit of Minmus. That could be interesting. In an adjusted orbit of Minmus. I think we'll grab this, but we're not going to do it immediately. We do need to plant flag on Minmus, and I think that is our next priority. So we're probably going to use this same Snedgus Mark V lander, is my bet. There is the one tweak that I want to make to this, which is this guy gets placed into this stage, or rather, into its own stage. So we can do that at will. Excellent. Other than that, the Snedgus Mark V lander appears to perform admirably. Of course, the other thing that I would like to change is get rid of the swastika. Oh hey, it didn't change to four-way symmetry. There we go. Now there's no swastika. Now it's just an X. Fantastic. The swastika was a little strange. Also, that video is going to be demonetized, probably. Or this video. Which is, you know, irrelevant, because I can't monetize anyway. So, let's go ahead and launch. Actually, we're going to launch this, because we're bringing Valentina. That's correct. Yeah. Now, we could upgrade to the Mark II lander can and bring a scientist along to reset our experiments. But I don't think we need to yet. That'll be a significant redesign of the lander module, so I think we'll wait on that one. So let's just go ahead and take this up to... Actually, let's disengage you. I want to test this. Not the moon. Minmus. Set as target. I want to launch to rendezvous. Engage autopilot. I want to test how this launch to rendezvous works. So, if it gets us in orbit, that's fine. If it gets us in the right orbit, that's even better. If it doesn't get us in orbit, then I guess I'm really confused and I don't know what that button does. Okay, so T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, it auto-launched. Now the question is it going to get us the correct inclination? And I think maybe it will. I know there's a way that you can get MechJeb to launch to the correct inclination. And this orbital inclination, just putting in 6 degrees for Minmus, does not seem to work. Also, I really wish it would stop this. This is just very scary. So yeah, it appears to be launching at an inclination. So hopefully that's correct. We're not going to turn on RCS down here. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to do. I was going to move RCS up into this stage. We're okay. We don't need that. What we do need is to get up here into orbit and hopefully be at the correct inclination. But I'm reasonably certain that it's doing all of this correctly. And I'm also reasonably certain that we're not bombing the KSC. I think we're bombing the KSC. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What's a little bombing among friends? So, it is building us an inclination, but not much of one. We are currently in the gravity turn. I guess we'll see what all it does. Because currently the inclination is holding at about 0.38, but now it's going down. Yeah, it seems to overall be going down. So I guess I'm a little confused exactly. I mean, it's no problem. We can match inclination with Minmus and then just head over there. We have plenty of delta V. I just don't necessarily want it to work that way. We'll decouple these once we get into orbit. We don't want to carry them all the way to Minmus, but we don't want them becoming projectiles and attacking the structural integrity of our rocket either. That was a little scary last time. Okay, that stage is now burned out. Oh, it did it anyway. Okay, we're good. It missed that time. Good old MechJeb with the rotation. So yeah, MechJeb appears to be targeting an inclination of 0 degrees. Which, I mean, it says 0 degrees right here. So I guess it's just decided to wait until we launch into an opportune rendezvous window? But that's kind of irrelevant to us. We can always just orbit until we get one. So yeah, I guess I'm just a little confused at why that exists. I would have thought it would have auto-filled the inclination, but it appears that it did not. I mean, this thing's actually turning okay. I don't think we even need RCS on it. We'll just cheese this a little bit, and right about now for the warp. And now MechJeb takes over. Excellent. So yeah, I mean, I don't see this as being at an inclination. So I guess we'll just do some maneuvers. That's fine. It's not a big deal. It seems to just be putting us in a standard equatorial orbit. It's just a little strange. Periapsis height is just about up. I mean, we're slightly inclined, 0.13 degrees, but I feel like that's more of a mistake from the spinning than anything. But yeah, this orbit's fine. We can make it work. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, we need 6 degrees on the ascending node and -6 on the descending node. So let's go ahead and get rid of the ascent guidance, pop over the maneuver planner. We want to match planes with target. There it is. Create and execute. There we go. Just a simple radial or anti-radial burn, depending on where we're actually doing it. Interesting that it's doing it here, as opposed to at the actual ascending and descending nodes. Oh wait, no, this was at the ascending and descending node, but it's only showing it on the maneuver. That's right. Yep. Sorry, MechJeb. I distrusted you unnecessarily. But that's fine. I feel like we can probably get rid of these. I think they're mostly dead weight. The RCS, I mean. It's a small optimization we can make. Because it's turning this just fine. It's not really a problem. This is not warping very quickly, is it? we're only warping at 50x. Oh well, we'll be in position quite soon. Hello, Moon. We're not coming for you just now. Okay, so once we get in position here, we'll make this burn, and then we'll just do a home and transfer to target. Nice and easy. We have plenty of Delta V to get this done. This thing should even be able to circularize us in min-miss orbit. Our thrust to weight will be so high in min-miss orbit. It will not be even funny. Like, this should still be significant amounts of overkill. Like I said, maybe even more overkill than it was for the Moon. But I like over-designing. Okay, our inclination is basically perfect. So let's go ahead and do a home and transfer to target. Create node. Okay. And let's see where that actually puts us. Excellent. We're going to go retrograde a bit. That's a bit more than I'm looking for, actually. Should be somewhere around 40 kilometers is the goal. That's good, right there. 906 meters per second, so yeah, it only takes like an extra, what, 60 meters per second to get there? Something like that. So yeah, this thing is still pretty hilariously over-designed. And after this, I'm going to quick save, because I don't want to do this launch again. And I'm sure you don't want to watch this launch again. There we go. We are now in position. Going to warp up to just kill our rotation, and then MechJeb will handle it from there. Okay, 6 minutes, 5, 4, 3. Oh, we're correcting our attitude. Once again, I'm gonna kill rotation, and now MechJeb will handle it. Oh, there was an EVA report we missed there. Oh well. We can always get it later by checking off the here and now check, or the X-Science checklist. That'll be fine. And here we go on our burn. We are not coming for you, Moon. This is not your day. I mean, it kind of was because we returned from you in this episode, but it's not your day. Get out of here, Moon. Nobody likes you. Min-miss is probably over here somewhere, is my guess, unless this flickering object is it. It's a possibility. I mean, min-miss moves slower than the Moon, but we are going to be going a lot further to get there. Yeah, I think that probably is min-miss, based on how much it's moved. Odds are quite good. Well, if so, min-miss! We're coming for you. Valentina will get an all-you-can-eat mint ice cream buffet. It will be glorious. However, it will mess up our thrust to weight calculations, because she's probably going to put on a pretty hefty amount of weight there. Her surface sample might not survive. Yeah, that's gotta be min-miss. There we go. We got our burn done. Well, almost done. Now it's done. Okay, let's just double check here. 132 kilometers. Okay, we're going to do a slight prograde burn here. Ooh. Okay. I'm not going to adjust that anymore. 34 kilometers, good enough. Okay, gonna go ahead and make that quick save. There we go. And then we are going to go ahead and warp to, well, right about here. 8 days away. Well, we are right at the end of this episode, so I think I'm going to put a cut in here, and in the next episode, we will warp up to Minmus. See you all then.